The hidden job market is said to account for up to 80% of the jobs people get. But as an engineering student, you might be thinking, well, where's my job offer? Who are these people offering jobs? Do I have to wait until I'm a senior engineer? Well, the truth is, unless you already have connections, you need to start building them in order to tap into this market. While I was at university, I began attending a lot of networking events and learned a lot from seeing others network. And eventually over time, I built up my own skills in this area, which helped me to receive multiple internship and graduate offers from people I met at these events. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing what I've learned and explaining things like how to introduce yourself and get the conversation going, how to beat the awkwardness, what questions you should ask, and at the end, I'm going to show you how to nicely wrap up the conversation and get someone's contact details. Alright, so first up, let's talk about how to get the conversation started. And straight away, I'll tell you that the first couple of times you do this, you will feel awkward. But I promise that you will get better, and eventually you'll feel a lot more comfortable doing this. Okay, so say you're at a networking event and you don't know anyone that's there. The easiest way to find someone to talk to is to go up to the person that's either alone or in a small group. These people probably don't know many other people that are there too, and are going to be happy to have someone to talk to, so they are a great place to start. Okay, so once you've made your way over to this person or small group, an easy phrase that I always like to use to introduce myself is, "Hey, I don't think we've met yet. My name's Ben." I really like this phrase because straight away it allows you to get on a first name basis, because 99% of the time, the person's going to respond by giving you their name. From here, without them even asking, you should respond by giving them a bit more information about yourself. For example, you can say that you're a second year civil engineering student at XYZ University, and then straight away ask them what they do. And now that you've exchanged some basic details, you should start to feel more comfortable around them, and they should start to feel more comfortable around you. So at this point, you can start to ask them the questions that you really came to find the answers to. Okay, so now that the conversation is up and going, it's up to you to drive it in the direction you want it to go. And the best way I found to do this is to have some pre-planned questions. And these questions can obviously change depending on what reasons you're attending the event for, but let's assume that you're going for the purpose of trying to find an internship or a graduate role. In that case, I think some of the questions you should be asking are, what is the name of the company you work for? Where is the office based? What sort of projects do you work on? What's the culture like in your team? What's the social calendar like? Do people come into the office or do people mostly work from home? Does your team have many juniors in it? And does the company you work for take on interns often? Now, obviously these are just a few examples of questions you can ask, but I encourage you to have a think about what things you are wanting to find out and write them down before you get there. And if you're someone who's naturally a little bit shy, having these pre-planned questions can be a huge lifesaver, as you can pull them out whenever you need in case the conversation isn't flowing naturally or you need to fill any gaps in the conversation. Okay, and another thing I want to point out that you should have a think about before attending these events is what you're interested in and what sort of role you might be looking for. Often when you start questioning people, it's pretty natural to receive some questions back, so do be prepared to answer some questions based on what you're interested in. And there can be a big bonus of this actually, because once you start sharing what you're interested in, the person you're talking to might actually realize that they know someone in that industry and can point you in their direction or maybe even introduce you. Alright, and the final thing I want to talk about is how to wrap up the conversation and get someone's contact details. At networking events, it's pretty standard to only spend about 5 to 10 minutes talking to one person, so after this amount of time, you should let them go and keep moving around the room. But before you let them go, make sure you find a way to stay in contact with them. So you could finish the interaction by saying something like this: "Hey John, it's been a pleasure talking to you, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. Do you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn so we can stay in touch?" If they say yes, you should ask for their full name and clarify any spelling if it's a tricky one, and write it down so you don't forget it. Then after a day or two, you should send them a connection request along with a short message saying how nice it was to meet them and thanking them again for their time. Now, on the other hand, if they respond saying that they don't have LinkedIn, you should ask them to see if they've got an email address that they can give you so that you can stay in touch that way. Also, one more thing I want to mention is that if you are going to be connecting with people through LinkedIn, before you go sending out any connection requests, make sure you've taken the time to make sure your profile looks professional. Now, I'm definitely not saying that your LinkedIn profile has to be the most elaborate thing ever, but it should at least have these 3 basic components. Number 1 is a professional looking profile picture. Nowadays, it's so quick and easy to get a professional looking picture just using your phone's camera and free online programs. So without very much effort at all, you can get this done. For example, all you need to do is put on a nice button-up shirt, get someone to take a photo of you using your phone's camera, Upload the photo to a free background removal website and that's it. Profile picture done. Okay, and number 2 is a headline. On LinkedIn, your headline is the little summary that appears underneath your name, and this can literally just be as simple as writing second year civil engineering student at XYZ University. Alright, and the third component is your About Me section. At a minimum here, you should be filling out your education section and your experience section. In the education section, you should be adding in the name of your degree and also the date of your expected graduation. In the experience section, you should be adding in any internship or volunteer work you've done, or also any projects you've been a part of. Now, obviously the more effort you put into completing these sections, the better your profile is going to look. And if you do want to make your profile look as complete as possible, there are other sections you can fill in as well. But I'll leave filling in any of those extra ones to you if you want to. Alright, so there you have it. That was a little introduction on how to network as an engineering student. Also, if you're interested in learning about what to put on your resume as an engineering student, then you should check out this video I made here. And if you want to find out what the 10 tips I'd give myself if I was going to be starting my engineering degree all over again, then you should check out this video I made here. Okay, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.